You ever try to do something nice and it goes horribly wrong? Well, the following is a pretty good example of that. Towards the end of my divorce, I was looking for a place to stay. I've checked out all of the different online places like Facebook, Craigslist, roommates.com, and roomster.com. And one of the people who I reached out to was a young 24-year-old female college student that was advertising for a room to rent. Now, I didn't care what she looked like. She could have been a gremlin for all that matters. If you had a room and it hit the price point that I was looking at, I inquired and sent some information about myself. I would also include my LinkedIn profile towards the end of the email so that the people that I was inquiring about the room to would have a good idea of who I was and my employment background and things like that. As a matter of fact, my LinkedIn is a standard signature block on all of the emails that I send out. I do that for a reason, whatever. So this particular person, when I reached out to him, didn't immediately write me back. Whatever. Turned out to be a good thing for me because, man, this roller coaster ride's about to get real bad. A couple of months after I reached out to inquire about the room, this 24-year-old college female student reached out to me and said, "Hey, sorry I didn't write you back earlier. Turns out it was a bad idea. I had a lot of creeps, in my inbox, yada, yada, yada." Now I get that, that's the kind of gamble that you take in this crazy society or whatever. But she goes, "I liked your LinkedIn profile. Would you be interested in getting to know one another?" So I write her back through email and I say, "In what capacity? Are you talking like mentor and mentee because I'm a lot older than you? Are you just looking for friends in this area because you're new or don't know anybody?" She writes me back and goes, "I don't know." Well, how about we go and have lunch or dinner or something, get to know one another and see, if there's something that could be there, because you can't force a friendship. You can't force like a mentor type, thing or whatnot. So I offered that to her. She goes, "Sure, but we're going to have to wait for 2 months until I can get my money up." Who in their right mind would wait 2 months just to go have a networking, get to know you lunch or dinner? Like, I'm not going to sit here and play phone tag with you. I don't know you, give you my time, which is already like very little to begin with. Wait 2 months just for you to have enough to go grab a lunch or, some cheap dinner somewhere. Me being the nice guy I am, I said, "Okay, how about this? Why don't I cover your food? Don't worry about it." My follow-on question was, "Where do you want to go?" Girl didn't have a car. She's like, "I don't have a car. I don't have a license." And let's go back to the fact that she don't have, any money. I said, "Hey, I can come and pick you up if you're comfortable with that." I go and pick her up. All right. We say, "Hey," she gets in the car. We go and grab something to eat. And it started out as a normal type of like, get to know you food situation. What are you in school for? Yada, yada, yada. Here's where the story gets a little bit more sideways. Shortly in the middle of the dinner, lunch, she asked me, "Would you be willing to pay me the money that you were going to pay in rent just to give to me?" What? So I'm just sitting here like, hold on. I think she's asking me if I want to be her sugar daddy. I look at her and I tell her, I say, "Hey, look, I respect the game. I respect the hustle. But if that's what you were wanting to get out of me, you got the wrong one." She goes, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I hope you didn't take that the wrong way or take any offense to it, yada, yada, yada." I'm like, "You know what? You're fine. Let's keep it moving." So we finish. I get the check. I pay. I drop her off. So right as I was dropping her off, she goes, "So, are you sure that you wouldn't be interested in getting in a relationship or anything like that?" I said, "Yes, I'm sure. Don't want to do that. Don't have the time for it. Just got out of a 14-year marriage. I'm not looking for that." I drop her off. I turn on my camera and I start recording myself because I'm like, yeah, I just have an uneasy feeling about her. Could be playing games. I don't know. So I recorded myself, time-stamped it, saying like what just happened, that I dropped this person off at her place. I'm going to go drive to Wingstop and order some wings, even though I wasn't hungry and I can eat. I wasn't hungry. I just wanted to get to a public place. in case something, you hear about crazy stuff on the news all the time. And you're like, how did that person put themselves in that position? Well, I wasn't about to get got, so to speak. So I wanted evidence that, like, in case she tried to say that I was trying to do something, like after I dropped her off, it's like, well, no, this doesn't, your timestamp and reasoning don't support that. So I keep my camera rolling, I get the Wingstop, I get my food, I eat like 1 or 2 wings. I get back in my car, I record myself going from Wingstop to my house. Once I got in, I told the people that I was living with, I said, hey, just heads up, I just had a crazy situation happen. So the following day, the girl calls me, says, hey, it was nice to meet you. Just wanted to make sure that you were cool with us being friends, yada, yada, yada. Yes, friends, all right. If you need any advice or anything, holler at your boy. Outside of that, nah. One day she calls me, and earlier in that day, my homeboy called me up and said, hey, my girl's girlfriend is in town. Would you be willing to keep her company, and do like a double date blind date, if you will? I said, say no more. I got you. He didn't say no more. He goes, are you sure that you don't want to know what she looks like or anything? Like, you don't care about that? I'm like, no, fam. Like, I know what it is. As long as she knows what it is, we're just going out to go bowling. I'm not trying to mac on somebody that don't live here or whatever she could look like. Now, she looked like, like a Jennifer Lopez or something, or, somebody that was smoking. I might have had to turn on the Smith charm a bit. The girl called me and asked me what I was doing that evening. And I said, I'm going out on a double date blind date. I could hear her go, and that's when I knew shit was about to get real. She goes, how can you go out on a double date with somebody when you told me that you're not trying to be in a relationship? So I'm like, 2 things. First of all, I just met you. You're not my girl. So you're not about to check me on stuff that I got going on in my life. Second of all, you must not know what a double date blind date. And then I said, you know what? There is a third thing. I don't have to explain myself to you. I don't think you know what friends are. I don't know if you can be a friend with somebody that's not the same gender as you. I said, so how about this? How about you figure out what it is that you want? We'll go from there. But I have to go get ready. Bye. She calls me back about 5 minutes later and says, F you, I hope you die, and then hangs up. A couple of minutes after that, she sends me a text message and says, that's why your wife left your huge ass. She knew that I was married. I told her about the divorce, earlier when we were getting to know each other. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned all that. I don't have a lot to, hide or keep secret or whatever. I'm not embarrassed by anything that I've said or done in my past. I'm living my life. It is what it is. So I'm laughing. She's big mad.
Whatever. I don't care.
And then she calls me up. And before she says anything, I'm like, look.
I don't even know why I'm picking up. You just cussed me out. You said something extremely disrespectful in text. I'm giving you the opportunity to say I'm sorry or apologize or even explain yourself because I want to know why you're tripping.
Her words back to me were, I don't get why men only want to be friends with me. It's still funny to me to this day because she never apologized. I've entertained this enough. This is stupid. I'm moving on. Have a nice life. And I blocked her number. And I thought that was the end of it. Nope. The very next week, she found 6 different numbers to call me from. I picked up all 6 of them, immediately hung up when I realized that it was her, blocked all those numbers, told her that if she called me again, I was going to go to the cops, which I did. Cops said can't file stalking or harassment charges if she never made a threat to you. She never said I'm going to find you and stab you or anything like that. But I was able to file the police report. That way that they had something in case something did escalate. Another 2 weeks after that, literally a week ago, was the last straw. Between May and June, after I told her to leave me alone, she has called me from 16 different numbers.
Loco Yoko. Know what I'm saying?
Over the 4th of July, she called me again. When I realized it was her, I just pulled over to the side of the road and said, well, this sucks because the only way that I'm going to avoid this person is if I change my number. So what's the moral of the story? Girls are crazy, man.